Hello, welcome to the covered chipboard. This is one of our first tutorials for the North Pole series. And for those that aren't familiar with this is a series that we begin in November, and it will run through November of next year, maybe October. Depends on how many pieces we want to have in the series. And what it is it will be a 3D North Pole village. What you're looking at now is the first project in the series. It's the North Pole stable. These are printable kits. You print them out at home on your own home printer on 8.5 by 11 size sheets. And I use white matte cardstock. It's 110 pound. If you look on the site or the blog, you'll find a listing of all supplies that I use in my projects and where you can buy them. That said, we have two projects available in the series right now. One is the stable you see here. The other is a North Pole sign, and this is what it looks like. If you can see it. Here, good. I'll try to get it all in here. And the next project in the series will be the Santa's Workshop. Now these are not small projects, so be prepared. Someone asked me earlier if you could change the size of them, and yes, you can. These are all created at 300 DPI. So with a graphics program, you can go in and change the size without any problem or loss of quality. I wouldn't recommend going up because they're going to be ginormous if you do that. The dimensions are in the tutorial, but finished, the stable is 9 inches tall from here to here, and let me see, 6 3/4 inches deep, I believe. Let me measure that before I tell you wrong. Yeah, 9 inches high by, I told you wrong on the depth, 10.5 inches deep, and 6 3/4 inches wide. So they're rather large. The Santa house will be in proportion to the stable, but I'm going to not make it quite as deep so that you won't have way too much room, or won't need way too much room to display it. Like I said, you can print these at home. They've all been print tested. They all print very well. If you can also, if you don't want to print them at home, you can take them down to your local print shop, Kinko's, office supply place, any place that does printing, and have them printed there. Just make sure that you know how many sheets you need to print of each sheet in the kit. One example would be the roof. For the roof, you'll need to print 2 sheets. For the roof inserts, you'll need to print 2 sheets. And I believe this is all in the tutorial. If not, you can make notes. And for the base, you're going to need to print 2 sheets. The rest, the front, back, and sides, are all separate sheets, and you just print those once. The project does use chipboard. It's a medium weight chipboard, and I do recommend this. You could make this without using the chipboard. I do have tabs on the images in the kit. However, it's not going to hold up for very long in just paper. So if you're just looking for a fun little project to do, maybe to do with your daughter or your granddaughter, whoever, and you don't care if it lasts more than 1 year, then fine, yes, go ahead and do it in paper. But if you want it to last, you do need to use the medium weight chipboard, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's easy to use, it's easy to work with. You don't need any special tools to cut it. So that's my suggestion. And since this is our first video that I'm doing, it's kind of a test run. So I'm going to keep this one to an hour and just kind of tell you more about the project and show it to you. And then the next video will begin the actual construction of the project. So as you can see, we have the front and the sides. And what I've got is, oh, my lid's falling off. I'll have to hold that on while it's on its side. We have the little reindeer in the windows. I've got reindeers' names. There's Rudolph, Dasher, Dancer. I didn't get all of the reindeer in here. There's one missing. So we might come up with something to do for that later on. But and here's the back. And I haven't done a lot of dimension work on the back of mine yet. And then here is the other side. You can see there's a lot of dimension work on here. We have shutters and the little lamps. I've used a lot of pop dots on this, the bows. I've also used glitter glue here on the bows and some snow, some of the Martha Stewart texture. It's listed in the materials on top of the shutters. This is also what you see on the roof. This is really fun stuff, and the glitter does not come off on your hands, so I love it for that reason, if nothing else. One word about using this on printed papers. I don't know if you can tell. I'll try to take the roof off and show you up close. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can almost see the paper through the snow texture, like right in here. And what happens is when you, because it's a wet product, when you put it on here, it soaks the ink up off the paper, so it will kind of show through. You may like that and leave it. It may be fine with you. If that bothers you, let your first coat completely dry and then add a second coat of your snow, and that will take care of it. It did not bother me on the roof for mine. I did want it not to be that way on the base. Let's see if I can get this up here so you can see it. You'll see it's a little heavier and you can't see through the snow here. So I went back and did a second layer. And also when you do that second layer, you can add like little bumps and hills and it just kind of play with it. Don't try to make it smooth. And it gives a really nice texture to it. So that's one thing you need to think about when you go to add your snow. The same thing on the North Pole sign. It will also pick up that paper, so you'll need to add second layer. I did a second layer on everything except for the trees when I did the sign. The side railing that you see on here, right here, is not in the kit. I did this with a punch as an afterthought, and I put the punch around here. What did I do with it now? The punch, and this is also in the instructions, is just a normal punch. It's from EK Tools, and it's called the Scroll Punch. I found it at my local Michael's. It's around $10 to $15, something like that, I think. Get it with your 40% off coupon. Save some money. But that's what I use for the side rails. I might also use that when we get to the Santa house. So if you think you're going to do the whole series, you might want to invest in that. The next thing is that this roof comes off. I created it so that you could use it either to put something in for Christmas. You could put, you could store Christmas ornaments in here that you want to place maybe around it in your village scene. You can put plastic, line it with a plastic bag, or put a plastic container inside of it and fill it with candy or fruit or whatever. I just think it's really nice. I hate to waste that space and not have it used for anything. So a lot of my projects, you'll find that I'll make them open and have storage space inside for something. Some we might even do something different in. I don't know yet. Another thing I wanted to show you was the inside of the lid. Now I decorated the inside of my lid. You can see it's got the roof inserts here. There, it's also on this side. This is a personal preference choice. I use the red paper. in the kit here, and I painted the outside edges because I didn't want to have to cut these little bitty strips. And you really can't cover it and then put your side inserts in, because your construction strips are going to show. So, you know, it's kind of what you want to do. You could just paint the whole inside with your construction strips in there. You know, it's just totally up to you. However you want to finish the inside, you know. If you don't want to mess with the inside, you're not going to put anything in there, you can actually add glue and glue your roof to your base so that it doesn't open. Again, that's just up to you. Let's see. In the tutorial, or in the class videos, I'm going to do a few things that I did not do in the tutorial. I want to not only make the videos for you to be able to watch what I'm doing, because some people are visual learners rather than, I forget what you call it, but people who do just read tutorials and do them just fine. I'm more of a visual person myself, so I understand that completely. So that was the reason why I wanted to do the videos. Another reason is I wanted to give you options with every project, and I thought it would be nice to show you some different things that you can do with the projects beyond what the tutorial shows. And that's what we're going to do here in class. We're going to have opening doors here instead of just a plain doorway. I'm also going to do this video or tutorial, I did talk about a different way to do the windows, and we're going to do that in this tutorial or in the video, which will be a little different. I'll show you both ways when I'm doing it, but I just wanted to add something a little extra for you as we go along. And I'll try to do that with all the series. Let's see. The next thing would be, I did mention that the next kit in the series will be the Santa's Workshop. Beyond those two pieces, I've not really got to that point yet, but there will be several other shops in the series. When I do have plans or the thoughts of a plan for a Mrs. Claus's cookie shop, and then a toy shop, and we'll go from there. I think I'm going to have a gazebo and maybe a covered bridge or a bridge of some sort with a pond. And so that'll kind of give you an idea where these are going. And as I said, I'm going to try to do one a month. We'll just have to see how that goes. It may be one every other month. Some of you may or may not know, my mother lives here with us, and she has dementia pretty badly. And so it's not only a strain sometimes to get things done without interruptions. She can be a little volatile, so we have to I have to kind of work around that. If she's having a bad day, it makes it almost impossible for me to do anything. So depending on how that situation goes, that will affect how often I can do one of these. Whoops, my house is falling apart. Another thing I wanted to mention was there's a lot of my existing kits that I moved from my old shop to the new shop, and some of these have video tutorials, some of them don't. Most of them don't. I only have a couple, and I'll be working, once we get through this, I'll be working on that, trying to add more of those to this shop. So if you've purchased the kit and you don't have a video tutorial for it and you want to see one, just drop me an email. I'll put that on my to-do list. And if you do and there is a video and you can't see it because of the password, send me an email, include either your invoice number and where you purchased the kit from, or send me a copy of your purchase receipt, and I will see that you get the password so that you can see the video. And I think that pretty much covers it. Let me check here. Oh, the Martha Stewart is a Martha Stewart Sparkle Texture Effect, and you can find that at Amazon.com. You might find it at your local Michael's if they carry a lot of her products. I don't know about Joann's. I don't know about Walmart either, but there's a thought for that. You know, if you can't find it right now, I'm sure that you can find it eventually, or something that's similar. Don't worry about the snow. Do your project, come back, do your snow later. You don't have to have the snow on it. It will look nice even without the snow. Another alternative is use cotton balls for your snow, or buy a package of the snow blanket texture stuff that you can find at your Walmart in the sewing. I think it's probably in the sewing department. It might be in their Christmas department. But you can take that, cut it up into pieces and shred it, you know, pull it apart and that type of thing. That would work too. And I think that's about it. Oh, I've used red gems, glitter gems, and red glitter, and some gold glitter throughout, and I'll be using more of that, so you might want to get some of that on hand. If you can tell here, the snowflake here, I've covered it with the snow texture. You could also just use glitter on it. And I think that's it. I may repeat myself along the way as we're making it, but for now I think we've got it. I've mentioned pretty much everything. If you have questions, email me. And otherwise, I think that's it for the intro, and let's get started. I'm going to stop this video and go on to the next one. I'll be back in just a second.